Is XRP going to go absolutely insane this crypto bull run? I think a lot of people have been asking themselves this question. And there's one chart I share with you guys very often that I think deserves a little bit of an elaboration, all right? I think it's time to discuss a little bit about what the price targets really are, why I'm still holding on, besides some of the new developments, besides the tech side. Just purely talking about where we expect things to go, where we might be thinking about selling, all that, I think we have to discuss every once in a quarter or something. Now, before I do that, make sure you check out the link down below to Discord. I'm trying to make it one of the best groups for everybody to learn about crypto, but also, if you don't really need to learn too much more, to hopefully bond together and make crazy gains by sharing your thoughts, sharing your strategies, etc. And I'll also be publishing a lot more in there. So just join, the link is down below. And I'd say let us dive right in. So first of all, when it comes to the XRP price, right now we are at about 52 cents. The lowest I expect it to go, I don't think really matters too much, because with my strategy, I'm just gonna layer my way down. For the most part, I do it around these round numbers, meaning, for example, let's say I try to stack up just above 50 cents, just above 45 cents, let's say 46 cents, just above 41, just above 36, or at least around those numbers, is just so I get myself a lower average price. There's only one problem. My XRP price is already extremely low, the average per coin. And so whenever I'm buying at these prices, I'm only increasing the price. But then again, I need to get more coins, right? Whenever there's a good discount relatively. So that's just the negative part about buying in cheap. Then again, the main reason I'm doing that, the main reason I'm buying when big chunks go down, is because I believe over a bull market, many of our top coins, right? The highest part of them. So your Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, like the big ones, they usually recover pretty good from massive dips. Let's say we see 30% decline over a few weeks. It's a lot less risky to buy one of those than a coin that's way lower down the ranks, because with some of those, you're not sure if they'll ever recover, whereas with some of these massive ones, I personally really think they will. And if I just get my average price as low as possible, it may be annoying for a few days, but I really think there's almost never no opportunity to get back out. To elaborate upon that within this little chart for XRP, for example, let's say you were to buy the dip every single time for like the last, 2 years or whatever, right? If you bought the dip and you only bought once, but then you decided to keep stacking up, your average price would have been, let's say, for example, right around there. And so you could have sold pretty quickly afterwards for some juicy profits over the next few months right there. For example, 50% profit if your average price got lower. Let's say, again, we take another different example. Oh no, you bought really high, but then afterwards, a couple cents down, you buy again. A couple cents after, you buy again. A couple cents after, you buy again. For example, right there, you bought again. Your average price is right now there, for example, right? Let's just say. So here, you could have taken some quick profit maybe over the next few days, or you could have waited a little bit. And again, there might be a few months that go by, but right here, you could have sold again for some intense profit. Could have been roughly, let's say, 50% profit right there. Even if you bought a crazy high point of 75 cents right there, and you're buying again 62 cents, you're buying again at 52 cents, and then again, you got lucky and you bought it at 43 cents, let's say. Your average price right now being what? Let's say 56. Again, maybe the first couple of weeks you would have hated your life, but afterwards you could into a 33% profit and so forward. Now, this is all nice, but you're being more of a trader rather than just a passive investor. Most people don't like to think about flipping it so quickly. So that's where I kind of have to broaden out to showing you, first of all, just this section, right? Just from right here, roughly May or so of 2022, all the way towards right now. One thing that becomes quite apparent is that really anywhere you bought, the trend has been like this, meaning that generally speaking, it's just been upwards and upwards and upwards, and it's only starting to basically decline and go bad throughout this little period here. From basically the beginning of July, things started looking bad for XRP. Before that, this was the trend that things were going at, just pure incline, pure amazingness. And so theoretically speaking, anywhere you bought, you could have just waited a little bit because the bull market's progressing, just like back here in this period from March or so 2020 and onwards, or like February 2017 and onwards, of just waiting for that massive breakout, but slowly but surely making crazy gains. Right now, though, like you see, we are converging again. What's happening? Well, if we zoom out ever so slightly, zoom up pretty significantly, there's two things that become apparent. One of those is that the XRP price has really been one of the worst performers when it comes to the bull run. So just looking at this, and I think all of you can see it quite clearly, the price was at $3 or so first in the 2017-2018 bull run. The 2021 bull run, it only went to about $2, and then right now, in this quote-unquote bull run, we really haven't seen too much quite yet. Bottom-wise, though, we keep making higher ones. For example, the bottom here was nearly 0. The bottom here was, let's say, 10 cents or so back in 2020 before the crazy explosion. Then the bottom in 2022 was roughly, let's say, 20 or so cents. And right now, the lowest we've gone to is like almost 40 cents, slightly below it. I don't really think we're going to cross below that ever again unless Bitcoin has such a massive breakout, or I should say breakdown. But I do believe XRP, even though it keeps kind of going sideways for the most part, once it does break, once it does start going, it's going to be a really quick move because, again, it's been suppressed for all this time. And I could argue and say, oh, it's because of the lawsuit, because of I don't think it really matters what caused it, really. I don't think it matters too much what happened in the past for all that. Because every single time people like to argue about those things, saying, oh, but the past doesn't have to repeat itself. I don't really care. When you're looking at this chart, there's only two things you can say. One is it looks extremely negative because every single run, it's not able to surpass its previous points. But from my perspective, it's a matter of, man, this coin has been gearing up so long for an explosion. And again, if this run goes by, and this is just my honest thoughts, right? If this run goes by and the price doesn't go absolutely crazy, then there's one more chance. And that's basically that XRP / the Ripple ecosystem is going to do really well over a 10-year period, for example. Many people forget that the whole crypto space is really new and that many of the advancements and real winners will only be shown over a decade period, not a 1, 2 year, 5 year thing. Again, you have to realize who's going to be winning in 5, 10, 20 years from now, not just next month. So who's really working on tech and which ones just have vaporware and short-term hype. But the thing is, though, if it doesn't gain this cycle, I will say that the hype is quite dead. I'm always a realist, and what I mean with that is I don't want to give you guys a story that I don't personally believe in, but also I don't want to give you a story that doesn't really make sense and that I don't see playing out with a very high degree of certainty. So even though I cannot tell you whether or not XRP is going to go insane, what I do believe is since it's been so long since we crossed $1, the moment it happens, I think it's going to be pretty quick in terms of gains. And I wouldn't even be too surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if we see like $6 in a few weeks. But again, my own target is like $10, $12 or so for the run. I wouldn't be too surprised if it hit more. And that's just because most people underestimate just how crazy things go over a bull run once you get that ball rolling. Getting the ball rolling is the absolute hardest part, especially that right now people think there's no hype, it's dead, yada, yada, yada. But most of the top altcoins are still down 80, 90% from their all-time highs, and it will only be quite late into the run that all that happens. Just put it into perspective, for example, when XRP gained here, when this crazy run, it took what, 5 weeks or so? But you have to realize for yourself really quite properly that Bitcoin basically peaked early in December of 2017, maybe even the last week of November, I can't quite remember exactly. XRP only started gaining this first week of December. You understand what I'm saying? This is crucial to understanding what I'm trying to say. Let's again zoom in a little bit just to get a better idea. So the best, or I should say the latest week that Bitcoin did good was the week of December 11th, right? That's where Bitcoin topped out and only started going down from there. The week XRP started pumping is the week of December 11th. Before that, right, there was a crazy bull run for Bitcoin for how long? I don't know, years or something like that. It's just been years of only up for Bitcoin, and whoever was holding XRP, unless we're talking about before this crazy May run, but whoever was holding XRP from May all the way to December probably scratched their freaking eyes out, because from May, let's quickly check it out, from May to December, Bitcoin went up a 12x or so. See this? Right? In that period, Bitcoin went from roughly $1,500 to $20,000, while XRP went from, let's see here, 40 cents or so, all the way down to roughly 31 cents. And this is one of the most crucial examples I can give you. People would have scratched their eyes out, hated themselves for it, even though they don't realize that XRP went from like absolute zero all the way to 40 cents and the craziest gains were made there. This gain period, though, you can see XRP actually heavily outperformed Bitcoin, though, going up roughly 18x in this period, where Bitcoin afterwards, let's quickly see, this period is from, let's just say December 11th all the way towards the peak, January 1st. Let's quickly check again. This would have taken Bitcoin to January 1st would be right there. Would have meant Bitcoin potentially went down roughly 50%, but let's just say, to be on the exact candle, went down roughly 40% in a time. Again, XRP in this period went up, how much? An 14x, let's say, as the base. So 14x or so in that little time period, where Bitcoin went down 40%. You see what's funny? Most people are really ignorant to these ideas and facts. The fact that most people are wrong at predicting. And whenever I'm predicting here, I'm not meaning to be a guru. Nobody really knows. All I'm saying is kind of expect the unexpected. But more importantly, don't write off something as dead so quickly before peak euphoria, because realistically, most of these altcoins are not meant to go crazy as Bitcoin is gaining. It's for the most part after Bitcoin has gained. And that's why we always say in all these videos where I talk about portfolios, where I talk about cryptocurrency strategies, I always say Bitcoin first, and then altcoins, and then smaller and smaller and smaller. Why? Because the moment that Bitcoin hit its peak and the Bitcoin dominance relative to these altcoins is highest, at some point it's going to shift where altcoins take up more and more dominance as people think, hey, this Bitcoin stuff did really well, but I want to make even more money. And that's when they go for all these various altcoins. And once they go for big altcoins, they realize, hey, what if I buy smaller ones that can make even more money? And that's when the guy at your work, your neighbor, your neighbor's dog, everybody starts thinking about what should I buy next? How can I make money? Up until it gets to such a point where everything crumbles down. But you have to understand, a part of the hype then is when Bitcoin starts going insane. People think, hey, we can make money left, right, everywhere. Let's do more than just Bitcoin. That's when most of your altcoins will start gaining in general. That's when, probably, right? That's when a coin like XRP will also probably find its footing. It could be earlier, but a lot of these waves here were XRP moving independently. For example, here it was based off of the lawsuit news, and a couple of times it has done that. Here, XRP was in one of the most important crypto lawsuits ever, so we can kind of discontinue that one. You know, let's not talk too much about that one. But generally, I think what happened back in this time, where in terms of the fact that people really didn't believe it, they hated it for a long period of time. They thought it was doomed, yada, yada. All of a sudden, it just changed everybody's mind in the span of like 5 weeks because the hype came up really, really quickly. And if you really are in the community, you know, XRP community is one of the craziest out there by far. If you haven't done it yet, make sure you press that like button, by the way. But it is a matter of patience. And I'm not telling you that you should only have XRP. If you have, I think it's too risky for my own personal taste. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you've not done it yet, make sure you go ahead and join the Discord. A lot of cool things are going to be shared in there really, really soon. I'm just gearing everybody up here a little bit to, you know, get alive again, because a lot of cool stuff is coming. When you join, just say hi or good morning, something like that, so I know you're there. So I know you've arrived. And let me know if you agree or disagree with my thoughts that XRP really hasn't shown itself yet this run. And so people saying, oh, it's dead, it's not gaining. We're not there. It's still Bitcoin season, baby. That's about it. Let me know if you agree down below.